It's still going to be 30 minutes before the sun sets, and just thought I would. Uh, I'm sitting out on my patio, and just thought I would uh, give you a little chat. The NEED Act has got 3 steps in it, and it takes the power to create money away from the bankers. It's had it since the 17th century. Came out of the came out of the Netherlands, the Dutch, and financed the slave trade. Uh, let's uh, let's get rid of money created by bankers. They're not to be trusted at all. Uh, I've uh, I've been taking part in some groups that's trying to get along with them, but there's no getting along with them. They have they have none of our interest at heart. They have their interest at heart. They want to preserve their place in society. If you ever raised in a little town like I was, about 5,000 population, the man that owned the bank was the prime man in town. Okay, he ran the town, and he liked me for a while, but then he didn't like me after he got me in the Rotary Club and I made speeches, and so that didn't last long. And even after they loaned me a bunch of fucking money, because they really loaned it to my dad because they trusted him because their dad was a hard worker, not like me, and they wanted me to come and enjoy the coffee shop in the back of the bank and private and have chats with them. Hell, I had nothing in common with them. I didn't care about them at all. I had other interests altogether. I just wanted to get my airplane and get the fuck out of town. Uh, Go to places like Houston. Back in the 70s, Houston was a wild town. Okay, I mean it was wide open, and uh, I mainly was like the captain character in the movie Tom of Finland. Get that movie if you can, Tom of Finland. It's a history of Tom uh, from Finland, World War II, and there was a captain in it who was gay, and Tom, of course, gay, and he's famous for his gay art. He said his art was a motorcycle club that didn't have motorcycles, and just Google Tom of Finland, and you and uh, the guys. In fact, the main character in his art is a young man that my router. So I'm probably gonna have to end this pretty quick. But anyway, check out Tom Fowler. Uh, and so uh, uh, the need act. Okay. It was a man that he killed. He said he was. Hell, I've got something else going on my phone. I think it's on my phone. I hear. Let's see. Yeah. What have I got here? Okay. I should be. I was hearing something through these headphones. Anyway, um, he said he was fighting off the entire Russian army with a knife. He stabbed this young man, and the next day he went out to his body and turned him over and saw how beautiful the young man was, and he closed his eyes. It was respectful to him, and he based his art on this young man. So if you look at Tom of Finland pornography, uh, that's what you're going to see. Tom of Finland is based in Los Angeles now. He moved to from Finland to Los Angeles, and the house he lived in is a 3,000 foot house close to Echo Lake in Los Angeles. And in fact, I think they're getting ready to have an art show there, an art auction to raise money. And so, anyway, I was mainly wanting to talk about uh, the NEED Act, but hell, might as well talk about Tom Finland. Uh, but there was a captain in it who was mainly an observer of what's going on, or what was going on in the parks in Finland, and he had a party in his house, uh, uh, and mainly was observing the young men that were there, all interacting with everybody, and that was kind of me in Houston. I was just observing what was happening, and 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 believe me, I got images in my mind of, the 13-year-olds uh, that were standing by a building supervised by a couple of men, and a car would pull up to the curb in front, and make a deal, and somebody would go like that, and a boy would come forth and get in the car, and off he'd go. There was that little head, neck sticking up out of the car seat that I have an image of. So it was kind of like the captain in Tom of Finland in the movie, uh, observing what was going on. Turns out that was a mafia operation out of a crime group out of Philadelphia. They were doing this in several cities in the United States. And of course, it finally came to an end. And lots of people were arrested and whatever. They probably pretty well supported in prison. And so, anyway, NEDAC, it takes the power to create money away from the bankers. That they've had it since the 17th century. Okay, and and in our colonies, they didn't have the power because there was no banks in our colonies, and uh, the colonies created their own money. Somebody said, "Well, it all devalued. It all recovered the value, okay, and the debt certificates of the colonies were all bought at 100% face value by Congress. In fact, that's how the uh, the first Bank of the United States was capitalized. Hamilton's friends, George Washington's friends, knew that Congress was going to buy back these bonds for 100% value, face value, and they went out and off the farmers and the merchants and the people working people in the colonies. They bought these bonds for pennies on the dollars and brought them back and capitalized the first bank of the United States. Fucking the first bank was started with a crime, okay, defrauding honest people. So uh, that friendly banker down the street that comes to the city council meetings, councils us. He's he's part of a crime syndicate called the commercial banks. Uh, we can end their power and take it ourselves, and that's what the NEAT Act does. It nationalizes the Federal Reserve System, buys it back. We're going to buy it back with the new dollars, okay? And and it ends fractional reserve banking, which is how the commercial banks create money. Like they got to have 10% or something reserves. They actually have to have no percent in reality. As soon as they make a loan, the reserves are created. Okay. So, um, and uh, then we spend money into the economy. Congress does for the things that we want. If it's us that tells Congress what to do, let's tell them what to do. Um, Hippies, we're probably going to have to have a music concert every weekend in Washington D.C. So we're around to talk to our congressmen during the week, and that they can't get away from us. And let's do that. Let's have concert. Let's have a Woodstock in Washington D.C. every weekend, and gather there from all over the world, or all over the country. Just a little bit of different places, different times. Come to New York City. Send your favorite band from, say, from Oklahoma, Fire and the whatever it is over in Tulsa, and send them to Washington D.C. and follow them there, and and then hang around and talk to your congressman, and then next week somebody else will be doing that, and somebody else will be doing it, and and we can make them listen to us on the Need Act. I'm hoping to get to Occupy Boston and Occupy Wall Street in September for the 10th anniversary of Occupy, and it's forming up now. There's activity going on to bring Occupy together, and that's when we scared the fuck out of the 1%. We need to really scare them this time with the Need Act. Uh, that's what we need to do. So anyway, uh, I will close this now and talk to you again real soon. Occupy the Need Act. Bye now.